Would you date a foreign guy?
思いますね。
いや、ちょっと難しいかな。なんだろう、価値観の違いが。でも、気が合えばいいのかな。
恋愛だったらしてみたいとは思いますね。結婚はなしですね。自分自身そんな結婚したいっていう願望があんまないので。
思うだけですね。言葉は通じてもやっぱ小さい文化のズレとか感じ方って違うと思うんですね。でそれがちょっと面倒くさかったりするかなって思うんで、
もしできたら素敵だなとは思うんですけど、私はちょっと全然語学とかもないので、ちょっと
日本語喋れたら
だったらありかもしれないです。
Are you interested in any particular nationalities?
普通にアメリカ人とかってなんかヨーロッパだとね、あとフランスとかしつこいって言うし、アメリカの方がなんか付き合いやすそう。
優しい人がいいですね。どこの国とかは分かんないけど、あんまり男の人が威張ってない国の人がいいです。日本も威張ってないけど別に。
やっぱり同じように男尊女卑じゃないところですかね。その女性をそんな持ち上げろとかじゃなくて、普通にちゃんと平等に扱ってくれる国、それこそヨーロッパとかかなとは思います、自分は。
例えばじゃあアジアとかはどうですか？
アジアも優しいと思いますよ。
じゃあ全然 OK。
気が合えばですよ。
自分も同じですね。気が合えばですけど。
どこでもいいです別に。
How about races?
人種？そんな深く考えたことありませんでした。白人。
別に、気が合えば。
自分同じく気が合えば、人種は全然問いませんね。
人種も別に気にしないです。好きになれば。
いやでもなんか勝手にその白人さんのとかそういう感じは憧れはちょっとあったりしますけどね。
黒人とか
いやでもなんかただのイメージなので、全然黒人さんでもなんかかっこいいなって思う人とかはあるとは思うのでいいと思います。
アジア系も OK。
そうですね、 OK じゃないですか。
Would you marry a foreign guy?
ありです。ありでしょ。うちの親も外国人にしなよって言ってるぐらいだから。なんで？緊張高いし。別に親も言葉が通じなくてもなんかね、子孫のこととか考えて交流がね深くなって、日本人も社交的な人が増えると思うから、そういういい影響も考えると全然ありだと思う。
絶対ダメですね。田舎の人なんで。
出身は
福島です。
自分は多分親は普通に OK 出すとは思います。結構放任主義ですし、なんだろうあんたが選ぶならいいよみたいなのだと思います。ただ合わせろよみたいなはあると思います。
私はしないです。家的には特に反対もしないと思いますけど、私は日本人と結婚したい。
ありだと思います。
How would you like to be approached?
難しい。難しい。
話しかけるのはあり。
なんとなく、例えばなんか誰にでも声かけてる感じだったらちょっと嫌だけど、なんかね、きっかけがあって話が弾んでとかだったらいいかもしれない。
友達から好きになるみたいな。こう遊んでる仲間がいて紹介してもらって大勢で遊んで仲良くなるみたいな。
ちょっとなんかドラマみたいでいいですね。
それはあり。
ありかもしれないです。
オンラインとかは
オンラインはないかな。
話しかけれる？
それはその人の感じによります。
What do Japanese guys lack these days?
積極性。例えばその辺歩いててあの人いいとか一目惚れとかしたとしても声かけないから、大抵はね。
外人ってあんの？
知らないすごいさ、なんかじゃない？なんか海外歩いてるとさ、なんかナンパとかだったら全然いるけど、そうじゃなくて真面目に声かける人なんかナンパだったらもういかにも分かるじゃないですか。飲み行かないとかさ、一人とか今帰りとかって言われるとなんかこうやってなるけど、あ、そうだ、なんか道が行きたい場所があって、でちょっと分かんなくなっちゃった時に声かけてくれて、半信半疑で聞いたらちゃんと教えてくれて、その場所まで連れてってくれた時に、バスも一緒に途中で降りて連れてってくれた時はこれだよって思いました。日本人でここまでしないだろうなって。
一緒にお茶でもみたいに言われたら
言ってた予定がなかったら言ってたかもしれない。
別に何も足りなくないんじゃないですか。
もうちょっと自分に自信持っていいかなとは思いますなんか結構なんか相談されること多くって、その一歩踏み出せない人が結構多い、友人が多いから、なんか
最近の人車とか持ってないじゃないですか。なんかわけわかんない仕事とかについてね。だからなんか自立もうちょっとした方がいいのかなって思います。
なんか冒険心みたいな例えば大学生だったらなんかもっとその時しかできないことみたいなのを思い切ってやっちゃうのもありなのかなって思うんですけど、なんていうのかな、飲みとかそういうので終わっちゃうのはすごいもったいないんじゃないかなって思います。ただ大学で単位取ってフルタンだわーって喜んでるのはちょっとつまんないなって私の個人的な考え方ではあって。
Is there anything you like about Japanese guys?
真面目だと思う。真面目なところ、時間守るとか時間守ると、でもまあ大半はちゃんと働いてるから、割合は真面目な人が多い。
良いところは優しいです。柔らかい。
同じく優しい雰囲気が、丸いですね、やはり。で、相手がちゃんとできないこともちゃんとフォローできるし、で逆に自分ができないこともちゃんと言ってフォローしてもらえるっていう、こう持ちつ持たれつの関係ができるかなとは思います。
Have you ever been abroad and where?
韓国、サイパン、オーストラリア、カナダ、フランス、スペイン、イタリアです。
オーストラリアと、ドイツ、オーストリア、オランダです。
自分は行ったことないです。
アメリカ、タイ、韓国、カナダあとフィリピン、そのくらいです。
なんでフィリピン？この前フィリピン。
Hey guys, it's Yuta here. If you are interested in dating in Japan, I would recommend my new book. There's something I want to tell you, true stories of mixed dating in Japan. You know, I interviewed a bunch of people for this book and their stories are so interesting. I sometimes find myself immersed in this book, forgetting that I wrote it myself. So go to Amazon, Kobo or iBooks and check out the book. So Jazznik2 says, in my experience, people from the southern part of a country generally are friendlier than those from the north. I've heard this said about Italians and Germans. This also seems to be generally true in the US. People from the southern US generally are friendlier than in the north. Well, that's an interesting observation, and I think that might be generally true, but let me just point out that in Britain, northern people are generally friendlier than southern people. Well, at least that's my impression. So yeah, there are exceptions. I don't know, how about other countries? How about Portugal? How about Canada? Okay, there's only southern parts in Canada. How about Czech Republic? And how about Brazil? I think in Brazil, northern people are generally friendlier than the southern people, maybe. Well guys, how about in your country? Please let me know. So, Mechai Makeup says, since moving to Japan, I've met so many kind and welcoming people. When I'm walking the street of Tokyo, if I'm not sure where I'm going, someone will always stop and ask me if they can show me around or give me directions. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you met nice people in Japan. It makes me happy, especially in Tokyo. Well, unfortunately in Tokyo, when I'm lost, it's most of the time when I'm trying to find a friend's house. And Japanese postal addresses tend to be very, very complicated and difficult, so I don't think anybody can help me with the directions unless they live in the exact same place. Actually, I made a podcast episode about Japanese addresses, so if you guys are curious, check it out. And T. Parrish says, Japanese guys speaking Spanish. That just made my week. Es que quiere aprender un poco más español, pero no tengo mucho tiempo. Pero, si ustedes quieren hablar español conmigo, háblenme. Eso me haría muy feliz. And Pedro says, Olá, nice video. Eu só falo português do Brasil, mas acho que vocês podem me entender. Gostaria de visitar Portugal um dia. So Erin says, I'm a white woman and Tokyo is a lot of salaryman. People were more rude in Kyoto and I got embarrassed a few times in Hiroshima. Itsukushima was nice of course, but it's clearly a tourist spot. I was really shocked by how Hiroshimans reacted to a white person walking the street or taking the train. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know, those things do seem to happen in Japan sometimes. And Hiroshima is fairly touristy in a way. But when I grew up in Hiroshima, I was back in early 90s. I don't remember seeing anybody who was not Asian. I did interact with a white American man, but that was pretty much it. By the way, yeah, Itsukushima is quite touristy, but when I was little, we would go there several times, so local people also go there. So, let me ask you a question. Are you still listening? Because if you are, I think 90% of the people have already dropped out in the middle of the video, but if you are still listening, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and you will probably enjoy my podcast channel as well, so link is in the description. Check it out. Alright, about this interview, it was so hard to interview Japanese women, and I think mostly because I was alone and I was a guy. Now, think about it. A random Japanese guy interviewing random people. It's very, very hard. People are generally very cautious, and for example, if I was with somebody else, especially with a girl, I think it would have been much easier. But then I thought this as some kind of challenge, so you know, I was like, okay, I have to pull this off. I would easily get rejected by 40 people in a row, and rejection therapy, except it was harder, and it was a real rejection because I really wanted to interview people. But in the end, I'm very glad that I was able to interview many different girls. You know, they have very different opinions about dating non-Japanese men, and actually there's so much to comment. I'm kind of thinking of making an extra video with my commentary. I don't know, would you guys be interested? Because I would be interested, but you know, if nobody wants to watch it, it probably doesn't make sense to make it. And how are you doing lately? I've been quite busy because I just published my book today, so I'm doing a lot of talking to my friends and giving away my books to those who helped me along the way. And it's actually quite exciting writing a book and publishing it, because I've always wanted to write a book. And there's some funny stories about this book, because the book has been available to pre-order for a while, a couple of weeks, and one of my friends sent me a message saying that her mom pre-ordered my book. It's just funny because it's about intercultural dating in Japan, and you never know, maybe her mom is interested in dating in Japan, or maybe she wants to know what it's like for her daughter to live in Japan and date Japanese guys. Her daughter's experience in Japan, because this that the book is a very good way of knowing what will happen in Japan if you just move to Japan. And speaking of mothers, so there was another friend of mine. She's actually Japanese, but her mom randomly added me on Facebook, and she sent me a friend request, which I accepted. And she likes my Facebook statuses, so it's cool. I like this kind of, because by my other video, somebody commented saying that she watched my video with her mom, so it's like, you know, apparently I have a very broad range of audience, which is cool, which I like. So I don't know, tell your mom, maybe she will be interested in this channel or my book. Oh, you know what I need at the moment? It's reviews. So if you happen to read my book, please leave me a review on Amazon.com or like a Goodreads, and it really helps. So I would appreciate it. And your comment on this video is always welcome. So let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Hope to hear from you. See you guys later. Ciao ciao.